We're going to talk about altcoins. Or should I say, we're going to talk about two specific examples of crypto holders that I seem to get in the comment section that are asking which is better than the other, i.e., buying Bitcoin, using your existing altcoins to generate income. So I'm going to show what I've been doing and how you can try this for yourself for free. And again, if you want extra support, obviously you can book a call with us and do that. What am I doing then? I'm using 3 liquidity pools, one ETH USDC one, an ETH Keto one, and a shitcoin pool to monitor how it does. It is on about, we would say, 5% a month at the moment, but it does vary. It can go from 5% to 15%. Just varies week by week. The idea, though, is if you are able to run this for a 12-month period, that it will even out in the end, and you hit the highs, hit the lows. And the highs and lows are all dependent not on the price of the market, but dependent on how much volume is running through every single day in terms of the pairs and the pools that you get involved in. So I've earned an extra $22 on this. Now, if we go to the spreadsheet, so far after setting this up, $114 we've got on there for profits taken. $114 plus what's here, so that's around $130 odd so far earned in a few weeks. Not too bad from only 4,000 deposited. But I'm going to talk about the two types of people that I see in the comments and how they can use what they've got to earn back on their crypto. Pretty much like what I am doing at the moment and how you can try it. So let's say, for example, and I know that I've spoken about Keto before. I just mentioned the Keto pool that I've got in VFAT. And if you know what VFAT is, that is the aggregator of all the pools that we use and we teach. So, for example, if you have Keto, and let's say you've got 20K of it, that's around 90,000 Keto. You've got to be aware that, right, we may not get all season this year, and it could be a few years until we get a proper pump in the market. So, like I said before, for me, we're in the accumulation phase of the market. How can we use it to our advantage at this time? Well, we can have a look what pools are available to us. So if we look at this Keto example here, we've got Ethereum-based pools, we've got USDC pools, and a shitcoin pool. And it's as simple as going on here. You can pick between pools and farms. Let's say you're looking at a pool, put Keto in. And what you would do is you would test the pools, which ones you're comfortable in. Obviously, if you're comfortable with USDC and Keto, if you're comfortable with ETH and Keto, you would test each one with a decent width, with a small amount, monitor them over, a few days, weeks, maybe not weeks, sorry, probably max maybe 7 to 9 days, and then decide which one you're going to go in on. Then you'll be able to see the actual true APR that it's giving. You will see on lower cap coins more fluctuations in APR. So APR is going down a lot quicker, but then rising as the volume rises quickly. That's what you get. So I go over to the Keto pool I've got here. It's saying 100%. It has been on 200. It has been on 300. More of a wide range, to be honest with you. And this Ethereum one, max it's been is about 120. And people will always say, it doesn't show the APR that it should. Yeah, it always averages out over a number of days. And the APR is an average of so many days. So if you look at the volume on a particular pair, you'll see that fluctuations happen in the volume. You're going to get an average of that APR back when you set up a pool. So you would, with your existing coin, in this example, Keter, but it might not be Keter. It could be XRP, it could be Avalanche. There's many different pools for many different coins. And then you would look and see which one you want to enter. And after testing, you would enter it at a range you feel comfortable with. Let's say on average, you have 20K in the pool, and then you get 10% a month in your pool. So off 20K, that's around 2K a month. That's 24K yearly. And that is roughly 9,000 Keter annually, around 107,000. So you're topping up your 90K Keter per year with 107K Keter. Or you could just use that 2K a month to spend. You don't have to generate more Keter with it, but the idea is instead of sitting on your assets with them doing absolutely nothing, apart from just being there, you're utilizing the assets that you've got to earn an ROI back on and to gain more of it that you can then watch appreciate in the next bull run. That's the idea. Now, the people in the comments section will say, well, that's all well and good, but I don't believe in XYZ altcoin because it's not done well. And I've shown time and time again, a lot of these low cap coins that guys have and girls that are just going down in price. So the question is, why would you accumulate in a liquidity pool, not just picking on this coin, but there's so many like this. Why would you do that with a coin like this? Because it doesn't matter what API you get. It doesn't matter how many of these coins you have. If the price is just going down, it's basically like monopoly money. It's not real. Yeah. So you could just keep acquiring more of this, more of this, more of this. But if the price is down 20% a year, 30% a year, 40% a year, you're just always playing catch up. You want to accumulate assets that will go up in theory in the long term. Which ones go up in the long term, or which ones have gone up over the last few years? Which ones went up in the last bull run in 2025 last year? Again, I don't need to go into them. I've shown you before. Bitcoin went up, got an all-time high. Ethereum went up, got an all-time high. BNB went up, got an all-time high. XRP went up, at an all-time high. Solana went up, all-time high. Tron went up, all-time high, etc., etc., etc. There are coins out there that are still getting all-time highs, and people will say there's no altcoin season. So maybe if you're looking at accumulating cryptos, if you're looking at generating an ROI on your cryptocurrencies, maybe it's best if you look at coins that are appreciating in the market instead of depreciating, like a lot of the coins that people have. So the argument people will say is, I'm done with altcoins. All I want to do is accumulate more BTC. And that's fair enough. I understand. I get what you're saying. So example number 2 is, let's say you are a BTC holder or a maxi, and you've got 50K in BTC and you want to do one of two things. So you're thinking, right, Matt, well, I don't want to sell. One, I don't want to sell my Bitcoin, but two, I don't want to put any more money into crypto. I'm done. I'm done investing in this market, but you can still take advantage of it. That's the thing that people don't realize. So what you can do in this instance, and I've already started a small one to show an example. Here, I've locked up a very small amount to test of BTC. $1,400 worth of BTC. It's around 0.02 BTC. With that, I'm able to pull out $500 of BTC, and you can scale this up. And I'm going to show you how that would work. Then you can use that $500 off this 1,300 that you have in BTC to then use in the pools. So guess what? You've still got your BTC, but also you've got this extra money that you can use in the pools without buying any more crypto. How does that work? You lock up your BTC. You get a very small amount for doing it. It's negligible. I can't even say it. Negligible. But also, this is what you would owe on what you've got out. I'm going to show you how that works in a minute. So the idea is, lock up your BTC. You watch the value appreciate. So 0.02 BTC in the long term, what has it done in the last few years? Gone up 60% year on year. What will it do in the future? We assume that if you look at it, the price 10 years ago, and let's look it up. Price of BTC, March 2016. It was, I'm going to show you this, $473. So if the price of Bitcoin was $400 10 years ago, what do you assume it will be in 10 years? I don't think it'll go up at the same rate, but it's safe to assume, in my opinion, that it'll be higher than where it is now. So we go back to the prospect, which is lock up your BTC. That essentially is doing nothing, just sat there. You don't need to sell it to get involved in liquidity pools. You take, say, a 30% LTV loan, 15K. Don't know why it says that. I should say 15K. And use the 15K in the pools to generate income. And the interest rate on that is 3.75 a year. So if I was to put in here, interest 3.75% on 15,000 is 500 quid. So being able to use this 15K is only adding $500 interest a year. And with that 15K, you then can use whatever pools you want to generate some income with 15K. Now, I'm not going to say what to do, but I've showed you that I'm using Ethereum because it is the second largest asset. Generally gets better ROI than BTC. And then with that income that you generate with that 15K in the USDC, pick your pool, and then if you make 10% a month, you're making 15K income per month. So in the first month, in theory, even if you got a third of this, you're just earning back the interest that you need to pay. And in theory, when do you have to pay that back? Because if your Bitcoin goes up in value, you can always obviously pay a bit of the loan back bit by bit. So you could pay back 1,500 of the interest straight away in the first month if you wanted. But the idea is your Bitcoin goes up in price. So that value of Bitcoin, remember you got out USDC, so the value of Bitcoin will just keep going up in theory. You may never have to pay it back. Just let it keep going. Option one will be to spend that income. So that 15K that you've got out, that money per month, you locked up your Bitcoin, you could just spend it. I mentioned previously that there are various exchanges, there's various apps that have a crypto wallet, and a crypto wallet that you are able to have a crypto card with that you can spend the income. So what you can do is this money that you're making each month with this money that you've borrowed, just spend it. Just spend it after generating it from the pool. Now, option two, and this is like the infinite loop, is swap the income back to BTC and then do it again. And then, or, that 1,500 goes into a wallet and then you've reached 18K of income in a year. And then the 18K, you can now buy 18K more, $18,000 worth more of BTC and do the same if you want. And it's just an infinite game that goes round and round and round of locking up your Bitcoin, watching it appreciate in value, getting USDC out, using it in pools, and just going on and on and on. Or you could pay, some of the loan off, add more collateral, and for a fact that, say you do this 12 months later, if BTC is higher, you've got your BTC, but you've actually enabled the fact that you've generated all this income from the money that you have borrowed. That's the good thing about it. That is the good thing about it. So there's two options, and you can run both, which is the altcoin pools and or locking up your Bitcoin and releasing USDC to using them to generate more income.